Today I would like to share with you my story, the story of friendship and the story of love with the genes. And I hope a lot that in the end of my little presentation, you will be probably able to create your own friendship and love story with your genes. So what do we know about our DNA world where we live already for more than 60 years? Our kids are growing with DNA toys. Many people are playing computer games with DNA. There are sculptures of DNA. You can sequence your total genome and put it on the wall. But does it really help you to understand how it works and what it is about? So what is the real face of genetics today? Unfortunately, the biggest attention through a lot of studies is paid essentially for diseases and mutation. And the first reaction I usually used to hear from people when we talk about genes is just, oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to know from what I'm going to die. This is typical average reaction of people when we talk about genetic tests. However, it is, of course, created through the influence of a lot of scientific studies which study mutations and diseases. But let me tell you that the mutation, according to the definition, represent less than 1% the frequency of mutation in general population. So it practically means that more than 99% of your genes are here to help you. They're not here to create you problems. They're here to accompany you, to be with you, and to help you in your everyday life. So your genes, in fact, are your friends. And let me tell you the story about the genes. First of all, you should know that the genes are like people, very similar. They live in families. Scientists used to call it super gene families, but it's still families. So they interact between each other. So it's called gene-gene interactions, so but like families, you know, people in the families. They also interact with other factors, like environmental gene interaction, for example, with food. And that's what's happening every time. That is why there is the first very important point. Never separate your genes from the body. It's not the abstraction. It's something which is inside of you. And when I'm talking to you, this is the process which is going inside of your body, in everybody of us. This is the story of gene activity, of gene expression. This is a real photo, by the way. It's not the abstraction. So, you know what is the most important question is? What did you have for breakfast today? If somebody had some juices, let me know. If somebody had, or have one, two, so which one? Tell me. Who had, hopefully, carrot juice? Is there somebody, lucky person who had carrot juice? One, oh, it's a lot, I actually didn't expect. So what about coffee? This is... So at least one person survives in the room. Okay, great. So why I'm talking about it? I'll just tell you the big secret. All what enters into the body is divided into main groups, essentially main groups. They are inhibitors, so we can stimulate our gene activity with the so-called inductors of gene expression. Like, for example, coffee inducts the genes which should not be inducted, by the way, because you will fabricate so-called free radicals. But the other products, like inhibitors, they calm down the other processes, like, for example, carrot juice, which would exactly calm down the genes which would produce too much of free radicals. So we can play with our gene regulation every moment of our life. We can do something about it. This is actually the great story. Every single moment when you do something. Okay, so the real question is, what have you done with your genes? This is a very deep question for me because I used to be extremely sick child, you know, sort of like the worst version for the parents. When there is a Christmas or Easter, I was always ill, you know. So just like a disaster, you know, any type of whatever kids have the diseases. So up to 20, I used to apply a lot of drugs in order to struggle with the allergies and spots, of course, covered everywhere by spots. And I couldn't even sleep without the special medication against asthma. So at that time, I started to learn genetics, and I was growing together the human genome studies somehow, and through my thesis and everything, testing, of course, when you do the thesis, many of us were students, you know, that first of all, at least in my area, we used to use ourselves for our studies, so I was testing my genes, of course, as well. So, and this creation of relation and discovery little by little, how it works, what is really good for my proper genes, what can be done, etc., helped me to recover my health and to go further in my life. And the very important suggestion, what I should do also for you when you are, I hope, will create your proper story, love story with your genes, is to do whatever you do it with pleasure. Never do everything or whatever what doesn't make pleasure for you. I like very much the phrase of Mark Twain, who used to say, "It's very easy to stop smoking. I've done it 100,000 times." So this is exactly what should not be done, you know. So if you don't like to drink orange juice, please don't do it. Don't do it thinking that it's good. It would never work otherwise, you know. We always can find other alternative solutions. The nature is very intelligent, and we have a lot of diversity. We have a lot of choice. Just simply look at it in the different way. So, and here I can show you somebody who has really worked a lot on his genetic potential and also changed it a lot during the 4 months using his genes' power. And the guy is so good and so handsome that I said I wouldn't leave it to anybody, and I married him. So this is how we create the love story with the genes as well, of somebody else, you know. So, but whatever you do, I would ask you to live in harmony with your genes, mind, and body, like this fantastic guy. He's 80-something, and he's, you know, what he's wearing, you can see. He's skating, I should say, yeah, walking around like this in total harmony. We can see it on his face, you know, because the other secret is that it's not only outer environment, what you eat, what you drink is important. It's also your inner environment, what you feel. Whatever you do, you should do in harmony with your inner environment and in harmony with yourself. So let your genes drive you to the health and success. And I hope that my story of the health of success and friendship with the genes will be also yours. Thanks a lot.